Hi, my name is Alex and I am a study support manager here at the University of Essex, and I'm here today to talk to you about how to learn and revise for A-level maths. So, number one, make sure you understand what is actually going to be required of you in the exam. Effectively, an exam is formed of two components. Number one, what do I need to know? And number two, how am I going to apply it? In the case of a maths exam, it's effectively a practical subject. So you're going to be given a series of questions that you need to provide solutions to. As a result, you need to walk into that exam feeling confident that you've had lots and lots of practice with revising for those particular types of questions. Second thing I'd say is, working smart is not necessarily the same as working hard. So for example, you might spend hours upon hours writing meticulous notes with everything that you need to know, maybe doing concept diagrams and understanding how topics link together. And whilst that might be useful for getting ideas in your head, it's not how you're going to be assessed in the exam. So as a result, you need to spend time actually sitting down with textbook questions, past paper exams, loads of resources online, just making sure you're getting that practice in. The important thing to remember is the difference between passive revision and active revision. Passive revision just means taking information in its current form and effectively just engaging with it through reading or listening or watching. Active revision is what you really want to be doing though, because that involves actually doing something. This isn't necessarily just doing questions, but it might also be asking questions of other people or helping other people to actually understand the concepts as well. The third thing I'd say is that learning and revision is a bit like exercise for your brain. So as a result, you need to look after it in order to get the most out of it. This means taking regular breaks when necessary. It also means making sure you give it suitable variation. So if you just spend all your time in your room kind of working through your notes, maybe switch it up a little bit, maybe go outside, maybe find somewhere else to revise from, so in that way you've got a bit of variety as well. What I'd also say is that little and often is the key. So for example, revising for an hour and a half, 2 hours every single day is going to be much more effective in order to stimulate your brain as opposed to just sitting down for an entire day and working all day from 9 AM in the morning to 9 PM in the evening. The fourth thing I'd say is about the exam. Remember that examiners want to give you marks. So if you don't know how to do something, then just try and write something down, because if something's written on the page, it gives the examiner's opportunity to award marks to you. The second thing I'd say is, everybody nowadays in an A-level maths exam has to have a graphical calculator. So make sure you know how to use it well in advance of the actual exam day. This means making sure you know how to navigate between the different menus, how to input values, how to make sure you can get the most out of that calculator. There's no point just picking it up the night before the exam and just expecting to know it. Also, I'd say about the exam is to make sure that you write clearly. A common mistake I see people make is that you have a function like y equals x squared plus 7, and then you see on the next line dy by dx, but there's no equals to illustrate the fact that you've differentiated that function. So making sure that you're not skipping over symbols like equals, therefore. Also, if you've got long bits of work that you know you're going to need to use values repeatedly, make sure you put squares around them or some way of making them stand out so that you can easily find them when you're later on in the working. It's also useful as well to put little notes to the examiners so that you know kind of what stage at the working you're at. The final thing I'd say is about preparation for the exam. Make sure that you control the environment in the run-up to that exam. So make sure that you go to bed at the usual time. Make sure you get a good night's sleep and you get up and you have breakfast and you do everything you would normally do in the morning. Crucially, when you actually get outside the exam, try not to talk to anybody else, because there's nothing worse than just going into an exam, having talked to people and getting those worries worked up. Remember, if you don't know something by the morning of the exam, you're never going to know it. Finally, I want to wish you the best of luck, and remember that this is your opportunity to show off what you can do. Good luck from the University of Essex.